Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast, the only live streaming face-to-face arts and entertainment podcast covering Northeastern Pennsylvania, offering a true alternative voice in local media. We're coming to you from the NEPA Scene studio underneath Center City Print in downtown Scranton. I'm Rich Howells, the founder and editor of NEPA Scene. Ryan J. is filling in behind the scenes in the producer's chair tonight. And we're here with new Scranton-based alternative indie folk group Ravyn. Robyn S. and Ken Watkins will debut their full band at Union Vapors 570 in Dickson City on Saturday, May 2nd. So we're talking about how they met and ended up collaborating on Ravyn and developing an experimental sound. The songs they recently premiered at the NEPA Scene Open Mic, like Blue, Control, and The Testimony. Robyn's solo project Byrdie and those personal acoustic songs. Ken's new pop-punk indie band Freefall and their debut single No Connection. The importance of local musicians going out and supporting their fellow musicians at shows. Robyn's experience on the production side of concerts, working with Mountain Productions and the Ritz Theater, organizing events as Killer Bunz Media, the birthday banger on May 2nd with Ravyn, Squid Sterling, Freefall, Byrdie, and DJs CIMA, is that right? And DrumBum.
Like simmer down.
CIMA, okay. Yeah. And much, much more. So please join our conversation with your questions and comments down below. We would love to hear from you. Anything you want to add to the conversation, any questions that you might have for them or anything, please leave those down below. We will get to them later on in the show. And the more you guys interact, the more the algorithm likes us and the more people we reach. So that really helps us out. And so Ryan, cue the music. NEPA Scene is brought to you by Center City Print, bringing your ideas to life in 3 locations, Scranton, Kingston, and Hazleton. These one-stop shops are locally owned and operated, providing high-quality print products at affordable prices. From business cards, brochures, and banners to posters, flyers, and tickets, let their custom design solutions and exceptional customer service make your next project a reality. Use promo code NEPA Scene in person or online at centercityprint.com for 10% off. All right, so let's start with maybe you telling us about how you first got into music, maybe some of the first artists that you got into.
Oh, man. Want me to go first?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
So I've been singing my entire life. I enjoyed, singing during school choir. I got all kinds of little solo parts and whatnot growing up. So I was always more of a performative singer until I ended up getting into the scene the last several years. Grew up as a pop radio kid. So a lot of Britney Spears, NSYNC, Christina Aguilera, whatever was on Hot 97 at the time. And then as I hit high school, I ended up really branching out. If we remember LimeWire and how many poor computers that wrecked. Sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. And I know she'll see this, so yeah, I'm sorry. I found all kinds of harder rock. Chevelle really stood out to me at that point. I loved their stuff. I ended up finding Incubus as well, and they've been just kind of the big one for me. They're my favorite band. A a lot of stuff that we did was definitely influenced
Oh,
by
yeah.
them at this point. But a lot of other artists, I mean, across the board, I love John Mayer. He's kind of an inspiration to me because I found out he ended up going to Berkeley as a guitarist and taught himself to sing at that point. So that's just kind of something that always stuck with me. And I realized, okay, well, even if I don't feel like I'm good at this thing, I can teach myself. Learned to sing harmonies, singing along to his music. So he was an influence. I like his stuff. I'll listen to anything from folk to no fight to
Oh boy.
whatever. So yeah, all over the
plugging it
map
all
at
in.
this point.
Keep going.
Oh.
This is your musical influences.
Well, I mean, we are a band, so
I mean, true.
yours
I mean,
too.
I do a lot of music, and but this particular experience, I actually wanted to challenge myself and do things outside of my normal private music work. So I've kind of let Robyn lead the whole ship. I just kind of put my music theory or whatever I have of that together to create, the music that is accommodating to what we're trying to do. But I've also been a huge fan of Incubus too. I think that's definitely a key band. I also recently got a lot more into, weirder, I guess, music myself. Like I primarily listened to punk music, hardcore music, metal music, I fell out of grunge when I was a kid, so that, I was very deep into Alice in Chains. I mean, I still think they're great, but definitely don't listen to them as much as I used to. But recently, the last like 2 or 3 years, I've been on a dream pop kick, and just like overall like digital like indie lo-fi type stuff. This band Black Marble really has like shaped a lot. There's like a group called the Beacon School. Beach Fossils is another good group. So I've kind of been really getting a lot more into just more experimental type of music over the last 2-3 years. So that's kind of all lined up pretty well, because I definitely was interested in doing something like this eventually. So
Yeah, there's a lot that I listen to that really has like no influence over this, like a lot of the EDM stuff that I listen to, or another one that I forgot, I got into Elephants Dancing. Everybody knows I'm a big fan of theirs. They're a local reggae ska group. And one of our songs that we actually got to do at Open Mic at Union Vapors the other night, I remember when we were originally writing it, I was like, okay, I would love to do a song that's kind of like reggae-fied, if you will. I love the vibe to it. I love the culture, and it's been a massive inspiration to me over the last few years after a show that I went to at the Jazz Cafe. And so we ended up kind of putting more of like a little No Doubt spin to it with a faster beat and kind of a harder hitting lyric than some of the reggae stuff. So there's a wide influence, I think, from the both of us that somehow fits together really well.
yeah, I actually misspoke. We do have music on the internet. It's the open mic nights
Yeah.
videos that you've been sharing.
We
So
do.
people do have an idea what we sound like.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that. So thanks, Rich.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Appreciate it. Okay.
And they sound good too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's funny, you'd mentioned LimeWire. I was just digging through an old hard drive the other day and pulling out like albums I haven't listened to in a long time, and was like throwing them on like a jump drive I have for the car. And one of the things on there was like a bunch of obscure stuff that was probably downloaded all the way back in those days that still somehow survived. And it's,
Oh my gosh.
and one of them was a acoustic Incubus performance on that they did on the radio. The first time they ever did an acoustic version of "Pardon Me," and it's really freaking good. And I remember, I haven't heard this in so many years, but it's awesome. So
You just unlocked another memory that I had, because they had a cover of No Scrubs by TLC that they did that I found on LimeWire.
Wow.
And it's just like a little clip of it, just like Real Big Fish. I listen to a few of their songs, either Sell Out or Beer, and it would cut off like 2.5 minutes through. And so I only ever knew like the first 2.5 minutes of the song. I go out and I hear it and I'm like, oh, that's how it ends.
Yeah, we're spoiled now in the days of like you know how YouTube has grown into what it is and things like that, where you could pretty much just look up anything
without crashing your computer.
Yes, yeah, and just listen to it, watch it, whatever, you know, that sort of thing. But also, you know, shout out to the media that actually recorded all that stuff and did all those things. You know, when radio used to have bands on to do like acoustic sessions, I know some of them still do that, but a lot of them have just been wiped out over the years through lack of funding and whatever else. So, you know, it's those things become more and more rare. But then you look at something like that recent, I think it was KXP or somebody had like a French band on, this like crazy duo.
Yeah.
And like people went nuts for it. And then their album was selling like crazy. And then like, you know, so that stuff still has power. Like we need more media sources like that. So, you know, we need more funding is what I'm saying.
Tip this man.
So how do you think your musical taste developed over time into like, you know, kind of where you're at now?
Oh man, it's matured a lot. And also regressed a lot in certain ways. There are days where I want to listen to Incubus nonstop and just go on a ride that one of their albums will take me on. And then there are days where I just want to put on one of my fun little reggae bops or Little Stranger. They're a kind of reggae adjacent hip hop group from Philadelphia. And they have just the silliest music, but it is so good. And if I'm having a bad day, I put that on and it's got me feeling good. So I've definitely broadened my horizons as I've gotten older. I think I've been exposed to a lot more people who listen to a lot more things than when I was growing up, which is nice.
Yeah.
And it can definitely be kind of a trap around here with what feels like a limit to what local music produces. Sometimes I will feel like, oh my gosh, can I please get away from the cover bands that are just doing classic rock from the 60s?
Yes.
No hate to that. It's just, it is
Sure.
a widespread panic at this point. So it's nice to have gotten to be part of the local scene and understand that there is way more out here, people mixing genres and people, you know, pouring their passions out and doing original things that are not on the radio. They're not, you know, millions of streams, and it's not because they don't deserve it. It's because it's different and it's original and it's local. So I guess I've gotten a taste of that too. So that's been a nice change of pace. It's given me more confidence to be able to do something original and different, especially growing up as a pop radio kid. So, you know, hearing all these things about, oh, well, you have to do this and you have to do that. It's like, you don't. You could just do your thing and there will be somebody who appreciates it. So bands like All Day Special, I don't know if they've been on here, but they're a really cool, almost surf rock punk group. Their bassist, Timmy, is just bonkers. He plays in Pollen too. And I remember saying if he ever got into another project, I don't care what it was, I would go see them. And I did. So that got me a little bit more into the punk scene, ska music and all that. I never really listened to that too much when I was younger, despite going to a handful of the Warped Tours up at Montage. And I know I said Real Big Fish before, but it was never really something that resonated with me. So now that I'm a little bit older and have a little bit more life experience and insight, I'm definitely getting into more of the punk music, the metal music, all the stuff that, you know, a little girl was maybe afraid to listen to. So that's for sure. The one band Kenny's in, No Fight, No Victory, they're way heavier than most things that I've ever listened to. So that was an interesting dive into the local scene once I found them and started going to some of those shows. And it's definitely a lot different than everything that I used to listen to, that's for sure.
There's no way that we were your first heavy band in the local scene that you followed. That's actually cool, if that is the truth.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm kind of sure that it had to have been.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that.
I mean, I remember when Dead Hour was playing, but that was brief and that was small, but that was like an introduction as well. And yeah, I still didn't have a whole lot of like anything like actually heavy.
Well,
You guys are actually heavy.
There we go. Breakdowns changing lives.
Amen. Look at me now.
Converting new followers all the time.
Shout out to No Fight No Victory.
So is Byrdie your first kind of serious musical project in terms of like what you putting out your own songs?
I guess I would say so. I started writing music probably close to 6 years ago now. In 2021, I got my first ukulele, and I'd played keyboard on and off pretty much my whole life at that point. But I remember one of my exes had a ukulele hanging up on the wall, and I just started playing it, and I was like, oh, this is way easier than guitar, because I do not have the hands for guitar. They're like this big. And I just don't want to struggle with that. I want to enjoy singing. And up until last year, 2 years ago, actually, in November, I couldn't play and sing at the same time to save my life. And if anybody catches the open mic stream, you see so I'm still doing my best. So yeah, that was a decision to make about 3 years ago. It was like, if I'm going to do this solo stuff, I have to come up with like something cohesive to it. So I came up with the idea to call the project Byrdie, Byrdie, with a little period at the end. And it's obviously a spin on my name, Robyn, but it's spelled with a Y, so is Byrdie, so is Ravyn. I always despised that my name wasn't spelled traditionally, and now I appreciate it, of course. But growing up, going to theme parks and whatever, they have those little keychains with everybody's name on it.
Right.
Not me.
Not you.
No. So I leaned into that, and Byrdie kind of was inspired by the little ukulele that I got myself not long after I picked up my ex's. I was like, okay, I need one of these for myself. It's got to be mine. So I went to see Frank Marcinkowski from Toasted, old Mellifluous, and we've been buddies for a couple of years. He used to do an open mic down in Nanacoke at the Parkway Inn. And so he hooked me up with a ukulele, and I've been playing it ever since, writing music on it. I wrote a song called Light Me Up for Valentine's Day, just about having a crush and how fun it can be, and it just doesn't have to be that serious. And I actually kind of liked it, and that was surprising because I hadn't really liked any of my own music. Like I said, it was always more of a performative experience for me to get on stage and sing. So to actually write something and actually present it to people was really scary, and especially doing it as a solo artist who is by no means an instrumentalist first. But I stuck with it, kept practicing, and picked up a few tips and tricks along the way, and now I'm going out to open mic and playing all the songs that I can manage to remember as many times as I can, and it's been a journey. It's been really fun though.
So speaking of which, since we usually typically if we have a band on that has like an album, we'll go like track by track and stuff. So I thought it'd be fun since we've been exposed to these songs at the open mic, what the titles are and things like that. So we could do kind of a mini version of that for this, and for also for the Ravyn songs too. So I know 4.
Okay.
4 songs that Byrdie does.
Yeah.
You said "Light Me Up"
right.
was might be in the first
What's
one.
your favorite? Yeah.
Anything else you might want to mention about that? About maybe the inspiration behind these songs or anything like that?
Yeah, that one I did. I kind of had a crush on a boy, and I didn't want anything more than having a crush on that boy. Some of the lyrics are definitely heartfelt to me. I love a good musician, so every musician's got songs that they write about different things, and so the lyrics are kind of a nod to some of the songs that person wrote, and I'm certainly not going to give away who it was. That's going to the grave with me.
That's fair.
Yeah. But there's lyrics like, if you treat me sweetly, maybe I can let you kiss me if I'm upside down. And it's like I'm doing aerial arts and playing on jungle gyms and stuff. And it's just like a cute little nod to being a kid on a playground again, that kind of thing. Light me up like your finest greens, if you know what I mean. Because, yeah, we know. Sorry, Mom. So, yeah, it's definitely a very personal song that if I've got a crush on somebody, then that's a side of me that I hope they'd get to see as playful as it is.
If I can interrupt real quick, that is how we met, was when she performed at the V-Spot. I'm pretty confident it was at one of those open mic nights.
Right.
Wow.
And when you sang that song, that was me. Like, for me, I just don't know a lot of like good singers. And there's a lot of great vocalists. But as far as like pure talented singers, like Ed Kuzio at that point was the only one that I honestly, could say, he is an absolutely phenomenal singer, from like pitch to the way he, spits his verses out, all of it. It's just great, right? And then I heard her saying that, and I was like, oh, wow, this is actually really good. And from that moment, I knew I wanted to do music with her from that night. So it's actually funny that I didn't know anything about, your prior experience with that, but that's actually ironic that, you were, scared, because like that technically is the reason why this is even happening, right?
That is so crazy.
Technically, so yeah.
So weird to hear that, because I totally forgot that that's how it happened.
Yeah. And we didn't even know each other at that point. I actually only became friends with you, I think months after that.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I was a fan in the beginning, so I was like, oh yeah, that'd be cool to do some music with her. She could sing. It was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. Well, we can add that to the list of bands that have formed through the NEPA scene.
No, yeah, 100.
Thank you.
1,000%. Yeah, that. Yeah, you got one on that one. Yeah,
Been a
for
gift,
sure.
for sure.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you have Got Love, which you have a demo out for that one,
Yes.
so people can look that one up if
Yes,
they like.
that's right. So if you look for that, it is on SoundCloud. I have a link on my Facebook page. If you have trouble finding it, go to my Instagram. It's Byrdie Makes Music, BYRDIE makes music. And it's got all my links there. You'll find the SoundCloud link. And so that one was kind of inspired by an Elephants Dancing song, Day Out of Hell, Thought About You. Basically, the idea behind it is it doesn't matter where I'm at or who I'm with or what I'm going through. As long as I've got a voice in my head of somebody that cares about me and knows that I'll be okay and they believe in me, that kind of thing, I'll be able to get through it. And it's got some lines in there that acknowledge how difficult I can be to work with, and how as long as, somebody can still be there and see it through with me, I'll be all right. So the chorus, obviously I can't remember my own words right now, but but the chorus is a major nod to that. Basically, no matter where that somebody is, whoever it is, it's not necessarily about one person either. There wasn't a person that I thought of that inspired it, but several people that I could think of or list that if I've got their voice in my head, I know I've got love, and that kind of will supersede everything else. I can end up believing myself at the end of the day.
I think we know what Squid Games is about.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
That's fair.
That's one that I decided to, because I'm not one to write love songs or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I figured, you know what? Anybody that I would love, or, even Squid himself, obviously, those are things that I'm going to feel for somebody that I care about. Those are things that I'm going to like. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to the song. It's on the live stream. Yeah. But yeah, I actually wrote that to perform for the Valentine's Day open mic that got canceled.
Oh, okay.
And so that was a big part of why I did the pop-up open mic.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
That makes sense. Okay.
I had to find a way to play that, and my insanity would not let me rest until I did. So I actually messaged Josh at the Ritz, and I was like, hey, I know it's like 5:30, but can I do an open mic at that empty office that you have in the building? He's like, tonight? I'm like, yes, don't worry about it. Can I do it? And Josh said yes. And so we had an open mic that night, and I got to play that song. Yeah, that was a whole experience to write that one. And I love playing it. So everybody cries. I love that.
I think I've caught him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said every time.
Yeah.
I'll sell him out here.
Yeah.
He cries.
And then Revolution is, I think, the newest one, right?
Favorite one.
I was surprised that wasn't your favorite.
No,
but...
Light Me Up is just like your like talent on display, and I just like to hear like good vocal melodies, but like Revolution's definitely fire. I like that one.
Yeah. Revolution came out of nowhere. It was really, really late. It might have been like 5 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I was going through it. I went downstairs with my uke and just kind of started playing stuff, and the words came out, and it's about, how hard things are, and doesn't matter what we're going through. We've got to fight for what we believe in and stick to our guns and hold on to them figuratively and literally at this day and age.
Right.
There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world, and if we give up, it's going to make a lot of really bad people really happy. And that's not something that can happen. And so if I can use music to push that, absolutely 100% I want to. Yeah.
So let's get into Ravyn then. How did you guys decide to actually work together?
Oh, this is
Is this what we talked about the other day?
What was that first?
We don't really have an
session
answer.
like?
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
I mean,
You really did, I think.
it's very clear that we were both shot, but it's all right. It's like it honestly was just us hanging out, talking about it, having conversations, and then we were like, "Oh, let's just meet up one day." And then we did, and then it was like, okay, because to be quite honest, like my library of music versus hers is just very different. So, we, at first we're just kind of working out the kinks of like, okay, this is kind of what I'm into, this is what I'm not into. Actually, you created a word I'll always have now, emoetry.
Emoetry.
Yes, I'll always hold that
Okay.
now. I
right.
write it emoetry, apparently. That's that's my writing
It works
style.
its way into every Ravyn song. Look for it. It's in there.
I tried my best to not. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of just, us just getting together and just jamming, and honestly, it took months for us to kind of like settle down on something that we liked, and Blue was the first song that we've performed that many times at the open mic night. Once we wrote that, we were both looked at each other like, okay, this is something that we definitely are on the same page with. And honestly, from there, we've just been hitting a hot streak of just every time we would get together, we'd just write a full new song, and it would just be boom, boom. When like literally for 3 months we struggled to like be happy with one. So yeah. So it was definitely. I mean, I love musical challenges. I love being just kind of just in the music room. I just love music. I love making it. I love being around it. So it was cool to see another musician also very dedicated, just try to figure out this sound. And I mean, we had multiple ukuleles in the living room, a keyboard, acoustic bass. My guitar is just like throwing stuff at the walls, being like, "Oh, let's see what that sounds like. Let's see what that sounds like." And yeah, it's really cool. So that's basically kind of October. Realistically, we didn't even know what time we even got together was, but October of last year was really when we started to get together, and then we wrote all this music within the last 3 months. I'd say 4 months.
Last couple of weeks, no.
Well, some of them, honestly,
have
in the
been
last
finished
couple
in the
weeks.
last couple of weeks.
But
yeah, it was definitely a minute to get into it.
No, yeah.
And I'd come with recordings that I've had on my phone for years that I just didn't know what to do with, or couldn't really do much on my own because, like I said, I'm not an instrumentalist. I can put together a little demo with a couple of things on it in my bedroom, but I'm a bedroom kid with a dream, not an instrumentalist, not an audio engineer. So I just don't have like a lot of the technical knowledge that it takes to be able to communicate with other musicians to really formulate stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was an absolute gift that Kenny's is dedicated to what we're doing as he is, because it definitely got us through that first really like trying period of figuring out what this is and what it can sound like and catering to all the crazy ideas in my head.
Well, in my mind, it was pretty vain. I was like, she could sing. We'll figure it out. We'll create a platform where vocals will be good. I knew that was going to be good no matter what. So
That's all I've ever wanted. So
eventually, something was going to be created around the voice to make it good, you know?
Well, can I say I greatly appreciate that you guys took the time and effort to work on it and not just use AI, because that seems to be
right.
where so many
What do you
people,
mean?
I will say people, not musicians, people
Look at us, we're
are
out over here.
going down that road.
I have a confession.
Please don't.
No, it's a good confession.
Tell
To
me
this
whole
very
time.
day, I mean,
This whole time he has been a robot.
I mean, work robot is a personality at work that I
That's
have.
totally different.
Given. So now with the AI stuff, you know, I'll be honest, I am a very subjective person when it comes to these debates because I always want to be as non-biased as possible and kind of stick with the facts. Everybody has technically been using AI through the Google search engine, so we just want to start there. I will not, you know, crap on all of it because technically AI has been involved in our society for a while. It's just now it's finally been repackaged into like this, you know, consciousness that's like creating art and creating all this stuff. So, you know, I definitely know that has its place, but I have yet to use Chat GPT once in this entire world, like once. But I have
neither.
used,
I have not.
used
I've
Google
never
search
touched
engines,
it.
so I can't say I haven't used AI to
Right.
look something up because using the Google search engine technically is using AI. But in all reality, I have yet to ever, you know, even use ChatGPT. So I don't even know what anyone's even talking about when it comes to AI art because, like, I'm so out of the loop when it comes to that. I just don't use AI at all for anything.
Flyers.
Yeah, the flyers are
kills
rough.
me.
The album covers are rough. You know, things like that. That's bad enough. But I'm specifically referring to these people who will say, "Well, I would like a love song, maybe about this person or this idea, and I'm just going to take that sentence and put it into
Yeah, that's wild.
a prompt and say, can you make a country version of this that sounds like Toby Keith? Just name any kind of whatever. And it will literally spit out a
song.
full song with the lyrics written for you
Yeah.
Yeah,
based
I've
on
seen
that prompt. Like, that's crazy.
I thought that was so for, you know, maybe I'm living completely underneath a rock. I know that the AI was like there was an AI artist signed, but to like a label, but they were more so to like the pop, like EDM, like almost like mumble rap, hip hop, like, you know, section.
Yeah.
So I knew that, you know, that was, and they literally, that whole fad phased out. I thought it was just like a fad, you know what I mean? Also, too, the music that you're talking about, I legitimately thought people were just releasing that for fun and for like, you know, giggles and stuff. But if you're telling me that there are actually serious people in this world who are trying to create a platform off of music that they put into a simulation and create it. I mean, that's
It's true.
Yeah, it's
and then people,
unfortunate.
wait, are other people taking these people seriously?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Capitalism
I am living
has
underneath a rock,
gotten
America.
into
I'm
it.
sorry.
So the worst part is you have platforms like Spotify and things who love it because they're actually generating the stuff themselves because they're like, well, we have to pay the
Why
artists
pay
a
anybody?
0.00001 cent for, you know, per stream. These we don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
So we're just going to keep creating, and what they're doing is all of these things. And I guess this is really where the morality part comes in, especially, is that they're taking stuff that's already out there without people's permission.
I did
and
see
then
that
training
online.
it
Some bands
to
were coming
do
at
that.
yeah.
So like that's really scary and messed up and whatever because you're stealing other people's creativity
Right.
essentially.
If you're literally going to not pay artists for the art they've done and then also take their work to feed the work
yeah.
that is being created,
Right.
where is the justice in that? there's no humanity.
And it's going to get harder and harder to figure out who is doing that and who's like legitimately putting in the work, because it's getting better, like at first it was very obvious,
right?
Now I think it's becoming harder and harder, because you can also kind of do it with other things. You can just say, well, just write me some lyrics. Maybe I'm not good at lyrics, or, I don't know if I could write like you said, you might maybe not have a ton of musical experience in a band sort of format. Like, how do you write the bass part? How do you write this or that? So you just kind of tell something to do that for you. I mean, it takes away from, like you said, the humanity of the song, because then you have something just kind of spitting something out.
I can replicate Ravyn music.
I'll get probably a lot of pushback for this. But if somebody's sitting there saying, okay, well, I don't know how to do this and I'm not very good at this, maybe you're not good at it. Maybe you need to work on it.
Maybe put in the work.
Maybe do that. And maybe if you still aren't good at it, I'm sorry, maybe you're not cut out for it.
Sure.
Not everybody is good at everything. And that's humanity too, unfortunately.
Right.
But again, John Mayer, one of the most notorious vocal pop artists of this last century, he didn't know how to sing, but he worked on it, and he didn't know how to play guitar. And of course, obviously, everybody's got different resources that they're able to use, and some people are not so fortunate. But I mean, I also do not know how to do all the things that Kenny can do, and that's why we're working together.
Yeah.
So if there's a will, there's a way. And AI does not have to be the way.
For sure. Well, so you guys, you've described this as experimental indie alternative folk rock. So that there's all kinds of things in there.
Again, Robyn, who came up with that?
I do appreciate, because a lot of
I would say this folk indie. Alternative, folk indie alternative. Yeah.
It's experimental though.
But I like the.
Ken, when we were talking the other night, you had mentioned like when you get the full band together, it's taking on elements that we haven't seen yet, because we've only seen this as an acoustic duo. So there's so many other sounds kind of coming into
100%.
this.
Yeah.
So
I'm finally using my pedal board. Yeah.
He's converting
Shout out again to No Fight No Victory. I used to just
believer.
raw DI right into the head, and then my band yelled at me and said, "You need a pedal board." Mind you, I've been a vocalist, and then from there I was a bassist, so I didn't really need pedals per se. But yeah, in this I'm actually using all the cool pedals that I have not used since I've gotten the pedal board. So now I'm making good use of like my purchases and gifts.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even like right now we're recording an EP, and I mean, I don't want to say I'm like surprised, like I didn't think it would be good. I just didn't think it would sound the way that it's sounding right now, and it's something that me and her are both happy with, and it's just, again, cool stuff. I mean, I've really primarily only been in, like, I would say very aggressive sounding music overall. I have definitely been in different sounding projects, but all of them relatively are pretty high gain, based type stuff. This is the first time I've actually, come out and released things that were, a little light. Even the hip hop stuff still is pretty aggressive. I would say that, Enterprise, we're still yelling pretty loudly in people's faces.
Still intense.
The lyrics are very intense, very direct. Like, this is like the first, I would say, quote unquote, chill thing that I've been a part of. But I mean, again, over the last like 3 or 4 years, that's all I've kind of been listening to. I really don't listen to a lot of aggressive music anymore. Most of the stuff I've been listening to is like bands like Mama, bands like Wishy, even like this like what was it, like lo-fi like solo rap stuff, like this artist named Shrimp. Just really a lot more cut back and a lot more in your head type stuff. A band called Cloakroom I really like. I just introduced her to them the other day. They're like really experimental and stuff like that. So I'm very much so enjoying the different wrinkles that are coming out, from the different stuff we're doing.
I think that's where some of the best stuff comes out, is when you're pushing your own limitations and you're saying, well, I've never done this before. I've never tried this. So let's push forward and do that. I think that's when the best stuff comes out,
Yes.
when you're not even really trying per se. You're just kind of experimenting. You're
And just
playing
writing
along,
music.
and-
Yeah. Yeah. There really wasn't any, like, I kind of let, because I'm in a bunch of different bands and there's no need to be in control of all of them. If really the only band I'm really like in the lead of is Free Fall, but this one I definitely wanted, her guidance on exactly like what to do. Because again, I want a different outcome. So if I just keep doing it, then it's just going to be my outcomes I've already been doing because I'm coming off of my own influences. So it was cool to kind of be directed to do different things, and I like what's coming out for sure. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about those songs. Blue is the one that you guys had mentioned that was the first.
Yeah. First one we liked.
Yeah.
After 3 months, it finally happened.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit about the inspiration behind that, or
I don't think there even was one.
What, lyrically? You don't have an inspiration behind
I
some
just
lyrics?
wrote what came out, and there it was. Like,
It
I'm
sounds very
sorry, but
whimsical.
like, that is me. That is me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that song didn't actually like come from a place inside me that meant something. It's not that I don't identify with it. It's just a song we wrote.
yeah.
So when you wrote those words, you were not yourself. You're saying
It's
that
not
something
the
else
same
came.
headspace that I wrote
It took you over.
Control or The Testimony or Final Bow or any of that. Like,
You're gonna have to send me the lyrics now.
to Blue?
Oh, I'm not. Well, I don't know all of them because like it's hard to like. For me, it's hard to hear lyrics sometimes like live.
It's definitely
Oh, I
it
need to know
speaks
now.
to who I am and my life experience, but it's not like this pinpoint moment where this inspired this song or this feeling inspired this
Yeah.
song. It's just like I'm a little bit out there, and this is a song that's going to show that, and we'll just kind of let it speak for itself, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
So yeah, nothing really too deep behind it, but it was the first one that actually stuck for us. I have a little guitar ukulele hybrid that I hate playing because, again, I hate guitar stuff. And there's only so many chords and notes that I know how to play on it, and that happened to encompass them. So it just kind of flew off the wall with everything
Sick.
that you added to it. And yeah, interesting timings and stuff. The stuff that we have is more composed almost than it is written, and there's so much depth to it mentally for me. So knowing what it could be instead of just what we were playing is kind of what kicked it off, and I think what really inspired the rest of everything we did after that.
100%.
What about Control? What can you tell us about that one?
So that song is actually a nod to mental health. And I have been actively going through treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. And it has a lot to do with some of the struggles that I face when I'm in bad episodes or when I'm struggling with therapy or I'm going through, certain things in life that just kind of provoke some tough feelings. And there's never going to be a time where I'm going to give up control of myself to the struggles that I'm facing. And no matter how close it feels like it's getting, no matter how bad I want to give up, can't do it. So the one part of the chorus, gotta have control of myself even if it hurts like hell. It's true. It's so true. And I struggle with it a lot, but that song has been kind of really cool to have in my pocket to keep me going the last few months.
And the only other one we have is so far is The Testimony.
My favorite. The one that she tried to throw away.
He's gonna say that until the end of time.
Forever. Mind you, I've been, I don't want to say passive, but pretty much I'm like, Robyn, this is your ship.
Yeah.
But this is this song.
Would not die.
I put my foot down and said, this is not going anywhere. We're using it. You'll see. And it's right now we're recording it. Acoustic, it sounds great, but like specifically, like again, like what we're learning how to like put into the full band arena. I mean, yeah, it's sick. I love it. And yeah, I don't know much about the lyrical content stuff. I just know like based around just the whole feel of it. This song was really like what I knew would be a great platform again for Robyn's vocals and stuff like that, and really, getting the full range of her voice out and stuff like that. And just, for me personally, when I, added my guitar parts to it, because originally it was a ukulele piece solely, and I put a guitar part around it. That was my first little jabbing with my emoetry involved.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So he's gonna say he wouldn't let me throw
the
song away.
She was like, I don't feel
it. It's just not true.
I don't feel this. I just can't.
And here's what actually
get myself
happened.
to like it. I'm like, yeah, we're doing it.
No. So for as long as I've been singing and as long as I've been having to play an instrument and sing by myself, I hate it. I hate playing and singing. It's not what I want to be doing. It's not as fun as just getting to use my voice. And being a performative vocalist up until the last few years, there's nothing I've wanted to do more than just be able to use my voice however I want to. And so part of the issue that I had with this is we're writing these songs. We don't have other members to play these things yet. And so in my head, I'm still stuck on the fact that there is this lead part that I've written on an instrument that only I play. It's a guitar ukulele hybrid. Who even has one? Like, get real. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't want to play this and sing at the same time. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to sound good. And so the song almost took a very serious backseat. But I never hated it. I never wanted to get
happen.
I never wanted to get rid of it.
I never let it happen. I was like, we're keeping this.
And we did. And I don't want to say thank goodness we did, because we were never going to get rid of it.
Sure. When someone says I just can't get myself to write lyrics to this right now, that is a pretty negative connotation to a song.
And the reason for that was because I was so used to playing my uke and being able to play along and write what I needed to write by singing with it. And so it was incredibly difficult for me to be playing what I had written on the hybrid. And I couldn't figure out how to write to it without playing it. And we didn't really have it anywhere that I could listen to it. And so that inspired the process that we actually use for writing now, which is I've got basically a it's pretty bonkers. It's like a bedroom recording studio. It's like if some guy's like, hey, I got a recording studio, you should stop by. And it's really just in his bedroom. It's like that. Like, again, bedroom kid with a dream, not an audio engineer. And so I needed that to be able to listen to it on repeat and be able to actually write anything to it. So it wasn't until, a month ago that I even actually did anything with lyrics for that song.
True.
So that one took a while. They all took a while to really pin into place, except for Blue. Blue came out of nowhere. Out of the blue.
No pun intended, please.
But yeah, the testimony, that one has a very deep, dark, dingy feel to it. And I kind of wanted to keep that with the lyrics. I want people to be very uncomfortable listening to that song, because that's how I felt when I was writing it. And there are some really uncomfortable thoughts that make their way into that song that I was having. I don't have to get too much into it, but again, another mental health thing. And so it's just like, if I can make people feel something that is that deep and disturbing, then let's see what we can do. Yeah.
And I think you had mentioned before we started recording that the Ravyn also has some sort of other reference, comic reference, maybe.
Oh,
perhaps?
yeah. So when me and Robyn first met, I always like to think of like nicknames for the people that I meet and I get close with, as far as what comic book character they would be or what anime character they'd be. And Ravyn from the Teen Titans was my pick, because
I could see that.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Here I am clueless. I've never seen it.
That outfit works for that too, right?
Yeah. I mean, just the whole vibe. I mean, just
the whole vibe.
Ravyn's vibe. Yeah. Chill on the team, not too outspoken as far as, being, oh, look at me like Robyn would be, or like Cyborg, but, definitely effective, gets the job done. When the team needs her to do work, she does work.
Got some like sorceress type energy,
exactly.
like that sort of thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a good thing.
Oh, it is. Yeah, for sure. So tell us about this band that you've put together and how that's kind of working or not working, or
tell how much it's working.
He says, tell us.
Because
tell us about this band.
Yeah, Robyn was telling me a little bit before the other day, and it is tough to put any kind of project like this together, especially when you have a certain vision for it, and then trying to get other people to kind of come in on that and agree to it, and or just getting people to show up for practice, things like that. It's such a thing. So you can say as little or as much as you want about that, I guess.
I know there's local musicians and probably regional and whatever musicians that can relate to building a project from the ground up, but it is definitely a process that is going to have ups and downs, and it has so far. There were very high hopes of certain pieces fitting together, and plans are, adjusting on the fly as they will. There's a lot of stress that I put out there into the universe for myself by booking this show the way that I did, barely 2 months out, and expecting to have a full band that did not exist at the time. Mm-hmm. When I put together the idea of the Birthday Banger show, it was really just originally that I wanted to have a show at Union Vapors and do it for my birthday. And then I realized, I have this really cool project, and it would be cool if that would be like a full band debut. Without realizing how important it was to have the full band. And so we're at a point now where we've got about a week and a half till the show. And things have changed a lot of times. And I'm not sure that the lineup that we have that day is going to be permanent. But I can say that I am very fortunate to know a lot of musicians in this area. And several of them are genuinely incredible and doing incredible things themselves. That I've really respected for the last few years. And I'm not going to say any names because that's how things get cursed. But
Fair.
But if everything goes according to plan, there's going to be some surprising faces on the stage with us. One of them may be in Japan later this year. Mm-hmm. That's just maybe a little hint. So, We do have plans to have a full band lineup that becomes permanent, but I think with how experimental the project has kind of become and the way that we've really gotten into a good flow writing the music that we've written, it's going to be tough to fit pieces together that are also going to, mold into what we're looking for without too much pushback, which is going to be important. Kenny and anybody who knows me well can tell you I can be an absolute nightmare to work with. I am very headstrong, but I believe in what I'm doing, and I believe it needs to be a certain way so that I can push myself. Like we're talking about how you challenged yourself by stepping out of the genres you're used to. I've also never sung my own songs before, and knowing what my voice is capable of and what it's not and how it's changing, there are songs that I've written for this that I've had to actually really practice because I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to pull it off live. So having other musicians that I believe in and can rely on to show up, communicate well, and really pull their own weight when it comes to whatever instrument they're going to be playing, I've got a very high bar, and I'm so grateful to have you in this project because you exceed all standards and that is not normal.
I just been doing this for a while, 16 years in total. I've been playing music since I've been 12, really even earlier than that, but realistically, writing my own music, being in bands, doing this since 2010. So this is really a lot of hard work. I also just like writing music, it's just fun for me. So
right.
Yeah.
The challenge of getting as many people together as it takes on the same date,
right,
can be tough. It can be done, just maybe not here.
We're working on it. Work in progress.
We are. It's been tough to even advertise a full band because if anything happens and somebody doesn't show up, I mean, how do you have a full band show, right? Yeah. And so with it being such a fresh project, people are not invested and dedicated the way that it takes for somebody to really just be counted on.
Yeah.
I know we'll be there, so the show must go on, and if things happen, we'll do it acoustic. That's not the hope, and that's not the plan, but like I said, I put a lot of maybe unnecessary stress on myself and us, expecting a full band to materialize.
We're still going to gun for it.
We are, and man, again, if we get this right and everybody is able to make it happen and we pull it off on the second, I have no doubt that it's going to be a really, really good set from us. Because the musicians that are going to be tagging in are exceptional musicians themselves and good people too that I've had the pleasure of knowing for a few years, and that's lucky.
I'm always amazed at when I see local bands play and somebody's like, yeah, you know, so and so's filling in on drums tonight or whatever, and it's like that's to you know, your common person who's just watching it, who's not really thinking about it. It's like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know, whatever. But like the first thing that pops in my mind is like, oh man, that person probably had to sit there and learn 10, 12, you know, however many songs. Either sit in and practice with these guys or do it on their own and then kind of hope that everything fits together because everybody's got different schedules and things like that. Like I think about how harrowing that must be to just fill in for a night. Like it sounds so simple, but it's not. Like that's so complicated. So like doing that in this case and having people just kind of come in and stuff like that, it's tough, but it's not like I haven't seen it done before. You know, there's a lot of great talented musicians in the area, and I've seen crazier things happen and under pressure with the very little time and effort and stuff. Even just when I saw Tiger's Jaw the other day, they did an acoustic set at the Gallery of Sound, which if you want to check that out, we have photos and videos and all that kind of stuff on our site as well as social media. They had said right before they started, they're like, oh yeah, we didn't practice a bunch of these ever acoustic before, so we're just gonna go for it. So it's funny, like, because they had obviously they practiced the songs, they've been on tour together and everything, but with the full band. So now it's just the two of them again, and the chemistry is obviously so good and so built in from doing this for so many years that they just kind of knew where the cues would come in and how this would work. But it's like you're literally restructuring the song in front of us. You're taking songs that are full band songs and now breaking them down acoustically and then just putting it out there in front of everybody effortlessly. And it's just like people don't realize like how much talent that takes, but also that chemistry that also
Tiger's Jaw is one of the best bands ever.
So good.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, we're definitely fortunate in that regard that we're writing acoustic and then building around it, because there's never really going to be a time where we can't pull out an acoustic show if we had to.
Yeah.
Which I would love to do at least one or two this year.
It might be this one.
Stop! Would you please not?
I know.
We are keeping the full band idea
We're gonna
until the first. At the very earliest.
Yeah.
Speaking of bands, can you have a new band? We won't dive super deep into this because we want to dedicate a whole thing into it, but I do want to mention, because you are doing an acoustic version of that for the show coming up.
And it's
but
so good.
You have a new pop punk, indie rock sort of band called Free Fall, and which you just debuted the first performance recently at Union Vapors. So I want to talk about maybe just that for a few minutes, like how that got started, what was the impetus there, and like how that's going so far.
Yeah, so actually my first original music that I ever made and like put on a CD and distributed was this 14-track like Green Day, Blink-182 ripoff CD basically. The band name was called Minority. It was named after a Green Day song, the Green Day song.
Yeah.
I kind of always really wanted to like sing and play in that pocket of music. But honestly, coming to the local scene, my entire taste of music changed. Was introduced to all the metalcore bands, finding out about the acacia strain and stuff like that, that completely changed the game for me and stuff like that. And I kind of dived into that for a while. I was in metalcore bands, and then I came back into the fold with Moral Code, which people know that I was in. Once Moral Code was over, a lot of people were messaging me over and over again, like, man, I wish you were still doing something like this. Man, I wish you were still doing something like this. And I always had vault songs. I actually had a full-length album that I was originally going to put forth, that I was working on for years behind closed doors. And I actually one night, the first song off of the EP that will be out, called The Last Hurrah, I actually performed that last year at a poets Battle of the Poets with Monk, one of his events. And I kind of just one night was like, I don't think I want to do this full length anymore. I think I want to just go into a completely different direction and write something completely new. So in December of last year, I kind of wrote a collection of songs, and the song that we have out, No Connection, that was one of the newer ones. Kind of just bringing back the roots of the music that, really kind of put me here in the first place, which would be Title Fights of the World, which would be, Newfound Glories of the World, Taking Back Sunday, like any type of and it's any pop punk or indie band you could think of, it's kind of there. So, that band was just kind of me in a room thinking of these songs, writing them, and then finding guys, hey, you want to play this? You want to join this? And now I got a band and we're doing it. So, I'm thankful to know musicians as well around here. But, just, again, I really enjoy writing music, playing music, and I really wanted to do something that featured me singing more as well, because that's kind of where my heart resides still, is singing and performing in that, type of pocket. So, I'm really happy where that's all, forming and going to.
So what can you tell us about that single, No Connection? Because that's the only one that people can hear right now.
Right now. So that song, I write a lot of songs for specific reasons, but I also make sure to keep things open-ended so other people can take from it where they want to. Ultimately, that song lyrically took me 3 months to complete. Some songs I can complete in a night. Most songs I complete within a few weeks. I've never had to take that long on the lyrics, but I really wanted to take that long. Actually, the last lyric of the second verse, when it says, I was just looking for a place where I fit in, but I'll never kiss the ring. I'd rather die in my skin. That took me 2 weeks to come up with. 2 weeks, just for one line. So I wanted to make sure each and every lyric was important. That song's just basically about just unplugging from I would say, everybody in this world has an agenda. And sometimes, that agenda becomes what we see now happening in the world, where people with a little too much power, a little too much money, a little too much history are now, really implementing their will upon people. I think that's just a major, fact in life. A lot of people are imposing their will in different ways. And, that song is just about rebelling against all of that. And just, the chorus line, talking about unplugging yourself from the hook. I mean, it's a Matrix, reference. But that's basically what it is. It's just, you don't have to feel like you're just a puppet in the show. You don't have to feel like you're just a means to an end to, somebody or something or some entity or team. You are, a special person. You are, you have value. And when you can separate yourself from the noise, you can see that. And that's what that whole song is really just about. It's just kind of, self-realization of just you are valuable outside of what other people, deem you as, or what you're involved with, all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Is it fun to be able to do this as an acoustic thing as well as the band too? Yeah, of course.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I really do not enjoy acoustic performances.
So this is going to be some pressure on you.
The first Free Fall show was an acoustic one.
Yeah.
I think it was January 2nd or 3rd. And then it's not that I won't do it just because, I don't like it. I'll do it because I kind of have to. Sometimes I did an acoustic set for a hardcore show with this band Face Wreck, and people could come up to me, man, it takes a lot of guts to do what you just did in front of everybody at a hardcore show. I'm like, listen, it has to be done, if it has to be done. But sure. I much prefer live band every time. But sometimes that's not how it works. And, Robyn really wanted an acoustic set, though. She really likes the band. She really likes the set acoustic. So for her birthday, I was like, yeah, I'll play an acoustic.
You'll
set
make it
and
happen.
stuff. Yeah, for sure. Actually, somebody just hit me up to do some kid's graduation party, and they said that they like Free Fall and they want. I was taken back. I was like, sure, I will definitely come and play Free Fall music acoustic for your kid's graduation party. My why not? You know what I mean? So it's cool to see that it's already kind of like, you know, gaining some fans and some followers. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's you know, as you know, being in a metal band too, there's some people who will just immediately like, that's not my thing, and they won't even give it a chance. Whereas this is kind of a more accessible sort of project where, you know, you could have fans of all backgrounds, all ages.
That's like another reason why I started too, is just like, you know, I plan on being in all of these bands because I just like to make music, and I've had, you know, conversations. I mean, Free Fall is like one thing that if I'm not playing, it probably won't be, you know, a show happening without me. But even in, you know, No Fight, like eventually, like we've had talks, like if there was like, you know, conflicting schedules, or if I had to go do something, like, you know, I'd find a fill-in and stuff like that. But ultimately, I love all the bands I play in. I love everything I'm doing with all of them. And come back on. It's a podcast. We don't need to. It's not like, you know, it's not a 60 minutes interview. I promise. But you know, the definitely the open-mindedness of people when they listen to, you know, music that's not screaming in your face, which they should listen to too.
Oh, totally,
awesome.
yeah.
That stuff's awesome too.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. I mean, people have been listening to people scream since James Brown, so I think they need to rethink their bias here. We've been screaming for a while in music. They just don't like how it's packaged in this. You know what I mean?
For sure. You know, one thing that had occurred to me that you guys kind of both have in common is, you knowing you both for you know, a few years now. I've seen you both at a lot of local shows, getting into the music, you know, having a good time. How important is it for local musicians to go out and also support their fellow musicians?
The most important.
It's, I mean,
yeah.
growing up in shows, like, I mean, just the culture that I grew up in, if you were a musician and you tried to promote your band and we didn't see you at a show, we genuinely would just tell you to get out. Like, I'm not going to call any names, but I remember back in the day there was a scenario where there was an individual that was trying to promote their band, and one of my friends were like, when have we seen you at a show? Like why should we go to your show? Like, where have you been? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't even, like, kind of know how people operate like that, because back when I grew up, like, you just simply didn't get to do anything if you weren't going to people's shows. You weren't allowed to basically exist in the scene. So, now, mind you, that was, like, specifically the metalcore scene at Eleanor Rigby's back, you know, if anybody remembers that. Yeah. That was 16 years ago. It's crazy to think. But, yeah, I mean, that was the culture I grew up in, is, like, you didn't get to be a part of, you know, the music scene and, like, play shows if you weren't supporting other people. Like, you would just people would just leave. People would, you know what I mean? They wouldn't even watch your set. So, yeah, I definitely can't even wrap my mind around it. Also, too, like, the whole purpose of the punk scene and how even underground music started in the first place was supposed to be, you know, an exact opposite representation of, like, the mainstream industry. I mean, people who are, you know, too high for their bridges kind of operate like that. You'll perform, then you hide in your tour bus, and then you're a ghost to the world and just, you know, figure on the internet, and then, you know, you come to shows and expect people to care about what you're doing. It's, I don't know, it's very backwards to me. I block it out, I'll be honest. Like, I really only go to the shows and support the artists that I know are, like, doing it for, you know, the right reasons and all that other stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely, you know, the culture. I think it's, like, imperative, you know what I mean, to be a part of the culture.
Yeah, and I know for me personally, I'm only just for the first time really getting a platform to put my own music out. And so I've always been on the supporter end. Ever since I was in, you know, middle school, high school, I loved going to shows. I loved going to concerts, and I didn't again, get into like the hardcore scene or the punk scene, everybody talks about Cafe Metro. Well, I wasn't allowed to go. So
Missed out. Good
yeah,
times.
I know. And rub it in.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But that's the thing is it's this entire culture. It's this entire community. And I think if somebody wants community, there's got to be an understanding that there has to be a major contribution to that community before anything in return is ever going to materialize. And so like being out at shows for me has always been kind of like a lifeblood energy where I feed off of it. And imagining expecting other people to show up for my stuff and either not have already shown up for theirs or not intending to, there better be a really damn good reason why I'm not at your event. If you showed up at one of mine or talked about one of mine or shared a flyer or told
Sure.
any of it, like it just wouldn't make sense to me. And I would feel like a bad person. Like I know my friends do a lot. I've got a lot of really cool artist friends but they're all doing the same stuff on the same nights and I got to work at the Ritz and it's like if you're trying to get to all these places and you still can't keep up and that's why you haven't gotten to somebody's show, I get it, like I can relate to that. But there are so many people who will sit there and go, oh, I want to play these shows or I want people to come to my shows and whatever, but you'll never see them in a room for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that just hurts my feelings as somebody who loves supporting the people in this area and the music that they make and the creative side of things. So like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me why anybody would want that kind of a community where, only certain people are expected to show up at certain times.
Sure. And I get, people work, they have kids, they have lives. I understand
Sure.
that aspect of it too. But like, sometimes it's like, okay, well, maybe you find a babysitter one night. Maybe just try to rework your schedule a little bit. Like you got to accommodate a little bit, not everything is just going to happen to fall into your lap every time, I mean, even on my end, it's interesting because I would show up to, I don't see it as much now because there's just really not that many people doing it at the moment, but I would get a lot of people, I'd show up at the show and they'd be like, oh, you're here. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. We did the interview last week. So, of course, I'm going to show up and cover the show. It's part of the whole thing. And they're like, yeah, but like I got interviewed for the Scranton Times or the Weekender or whatever the case is. And I never even met that person. They called me on the phone. It was a 10-minute interview of the same 5 questions that they ask everybody else. Yeah. They hung up. They did a quick, write up in between assignments and stuff, and that was it. That's where their interest ends. Yeah. And it's like I think the local music scene deserves better. I think it deserves better coverage. I think it deserves better journalists who want to actually go out there and like go to shows, cover things, take pictures, take videos, things like that, so other people can be exposed to this stuff. I run into people all the time who are like, oh, I'm so glad you took video of that show because I really wanted to go to that show and I couldn't because of work or whatever else. And at least I got to catch some of it that way. Like, yeah, it's not the same as actually going to see it, and it's not going to sound or look or feel the same, but like, it's something. And it keeps people just kind of just to give people a general idea of what's going on. Like that stuff is never meant to replace, especially when I do videos and stuff like that. It's never meant to replace the live experience. It's more of just like, hey, like maybe you'd like this. Let me check this out. Like it's funny because when I posted the Tiger Jaw videos the other day, the video that blew up out of all of the videos was a fairly new punk band called 1-800-BITCH.
You're so good.
Incredible name,
so
by the
good.
way. Like, perfect fucking name for an all-female punk band. And that particular video is doing better than the Tiger's Jaw video right now for us. Like, it just in terms of that show. Because so many people were like, oh, I love this. This is great. And they were liking it and they were sharing it, and that pushed it in the algorithm more. So then, that stuff got out there, and it's like, cool. I did my job by exposing a whole bunch of new people to this band. Obviously, you know, Joe Nardone did the real work because he booked them and had them on his stage and all that kind of stuff. But like, it's cool to be a part of that. Is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to take credit for anything. It's nice to be a part of something where everybody's working together to get stuff out there. Is really what I'm getting at. And I think that's part of showing up is just a huge part of that. You know, like nobody wants to play to an empty room. So you wanna make sure that you're not going to play to an empty room because you showed up for other people, and they're going to feel like, well, then I got to show up for you. You know, like that. I think that's just how it works.
Yeah, thank you for doing what you do, because I know it helps a lot every and my mom loves the live streams for open mics because she can't get out there every week. So it helps. It helps if nothing else.
I see your comments. Hi, Robyn's mom. So you also started a thing called Killer Bunz Media. Can you tell us a little bit about that and like what the purpose and idea is behind that?
So I do a lot when it comes to music, whether it's make it, whether it's support it, whether it's try and make it happen myself. So I figured I'll just have a, you know, all-encompassing, cohesive brand behind it. So I came up with Killer Bunz Media, and that's just a nod to a photo shoot that I did for the NEPA Horror Fest a few years ago. I came up with this crazy creature, Killer Bunz, and it was actually one of my mom's Halloween costumes at first, and not the way I did it. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But I just wanted something that I could use to just support with as much as I could. So with that, I've helped put on shows. Bateman from Smash Master Wrestling, he has Mosh Pit Mayhem Entertainment, and we co-opted a show together at the V Spot back in October. That was an incredible show. It was Elephants Dancing, the What Nows from Reading, and then Look Back Luna and Spellslinger. And that was right after Spellslinger did their first Spellfest. So I went out to that show because I thought, how am I going to have a band on this show and never have seen them? So I went out to see them at Spellfest.
Nice.
Thank goodness I did, because I got to see a whole bunch of really cool vendors that day, meet a bunch of people, listen to some other really good bands too that I wasn't expecting to hear. Shout out to Union Vapors for helping sponsor that and put all that together. They do a lot too.
Yeah.
And they're going to be hosting the birthday banger show that I've got coming up. So with Killer Bunz too, I do, like I said, whatever. I'm into graphic design and I make all my own flyers and everything. So lucky enough, Kenny hit me up and asked me to do one for the Free Fall show that's going to be coming up at Union Vapors. So.
Oh, I can actually put that on the screen if you'd like.
Oh yeah, do it to it. Rich with the master graphics.
There we go.
So,
see, kids, you don't have to use AI.
Right.
Here you go.
Shout out to Kayla from Look Back Luna for providing the photography that went into that flyer. She also did the photos for Ravyn, and I just absolutely love her style. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything with it, and then I also work in production. I've done that for a few years here and there, just as much as I can kind of handle, and help put shows on, and I'm hopeful that I can get back into doing a weekly shows kind of thing like I was doing years ago with a volunteer project that shall not be named. But each week I would look up as many local bands as I could find in the area, as many local venues that were playing original music, and put together just like a whole list of artists that were playing. So I'm hoping to be able to start doing that again when time allows, whatever time means.
Sure.
If I don't make it happen, it won't. So it's just a catch-all for all the crazy stuff that I like to do in the music scene, and just a way to represent myself beyond my name. Be recognizable in some way, have stickers. I really just wanted to do it for the stickers, let's be honest.
She loves the stickers.
Stop, I do. I love them.
I'll put the logo up
I
there.
love that.
People
That
couldn't see
logo,
there you go.
I hand drew it as many times as I could stand, and it still looked like garbage. So I sent it over to Frank from Bullied by the Elderly, and he does graphic design, and he actually made it look as cute as it does. And so the rest from that was history. It's just a nod to the DIY stuff that I'm into.
So, I mean, obviously being a music fan and now a musician and things like that too, looking at it from the production end of things, what does it take to really put on some of this stuff that maybe people don't necessarily appreciate or get that you could talk about from experience?
So much that I think people would never even consider going into a show. If anybody's ever heard of BMI, there is this existence in live entertainment where if live entertainment exists within a venue and you do not have an active BMI license, you can be fined and shut down.
Yes, they send an evil ghoul spirit after you.
It's like the Candyman knocks on your door and shuts everything down. So I just want to put that out there. Everybody thinks, okay, well, it's so easy to show up and do a show. Well, maybe it is, but it also is going to take, the right licensing and insurance if you're going to have a venue, because the moment somebody gets hurt, guess what? That venue could get shut down and we are one less venue away from live music.
Yep.
Sure, you can show up and just shout and play an acoustic guitar. There aren't going to be very many people who are going to stand around and listen to that. So you probably are going to have a sound system. And if you have a sound system, you might need somebody to run it. And a lot of people don't do that for free. So you're probably going to have to pay them to do that. And of course you could do it in the dark, but if you have lights, it's going to look a lot better. Well, how much does that equipment cost? And how does it get put together? And how does it work? And who's going to know how to do that in a timely and efficient manner? Okay, sure. So you've got those parts in place. Well, are you going to stand on a concrete floor? Are you going to stand on a stage? Okay, so think about staging. Is there staging that has to get put together? Well, who has that? Are you going to build it out of 2x4s? Because you could. Nobody said you couldn't. And a lot of places will and actually outfit their venue that way. But there are also a lot of venues that are going to make you stand in the corner by a dartboard in the dark. And I've done that. I did that 12 years ago playing in a duo. And so it's pretty simple to just list these little pieces too, but then you've also got to think like a bigger venue like the Ritz. Well, how much do you think it costs to heat that place?
I can't even imagine.
right. So like that's just one little bit. And as far as production goes, I mean, like I said, I've worked on small productions. I've worked on massive productions. You're talking local volunteer stuff all the way up to building a stage for Ludacris and Ashanti and Nelly and actual big name artists. And these are not things for the weak to be a part of, unfortunately, to say it that way. It is eat or be eaten in production worlds. And it is really tough to imagine what goes into building something like a stage for a 3-day festival from the ground up. I was fortunate enough to go to Miami Gardens for the Jazz in the Gardens Festival this year and help put that stage together. And it took us, I want to say, a little over a week to get done. And it's just building the stage. We're not talking about putting the video walls on it. We're not talking about rigging the lights. We're not talking about running the sound. This is just the staging. And so to think of all of that, even just on a small scale for like the NEPA Scene benefit thing that happened last year. I forget what we called it. But
the Scene Unites Fest.
The Scene Unites Fest. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the scene did kind of unite that day.
It
was really brilliant to see so many people that I knew show up for that. And it was an incredible force, but it did take people putting together a wrestling ring and putting together a stage. I moved some of the stage decks myself, and it takes somebody who understands those processes to actually be able to direct it and make sure things aren't going too crazy. Because if there's one thing I've learned in production, it's that if everything is going to go wrong. And we're going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
And that's just, if you can live like that, you can succeed in live music.
Sure.
If not, it's going to be a hell of a time and a lot of hair is going to go missing. So I think I know why so many men in the area do not choose to have hair. Because you're all out here doing such crazy cool things. But yeah, I mean, the production standpoint, I feel like unless somebody actually involves themselves with it, it is so easy to stand on the sidelines and go, well, it can't be that hard. Well, then do it. I challenge you. I challenge you to do it. And that's not to say it can't be done. But it is really demanding and difficult to put on even a little pop-up open mic and try and get people there. Because once it's like, if you build it, they will come. Not always.
No.
Nope.
Nope, not always.
Nope.
You still got to promote. Like that's a thing too. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people, when they start doing something on a regular basis, like a weekly or monthly or whatever, you kind of fall into a habit of like, well, people know about it now, so I don't really have to promote it. That's not true at all. You
Right.
really do have to constantly. And it could be as simple as just sharing stuff in a Facebook groups, but it's also like posting videos and photos and constantly talking to people, letting people know about it, things like that. I mean, we just surpassed a year at Union Vapors, and I still have people going, I'm definitely going to show up to that. The next one, I'm definitely going to be at that one. It's like,
Never
you've
see him again.
literally now, I can clock it. You've actually been saying this for a full year now.
Dang.
When it's the V spot, I mean, that's
Don't
been
look at me, Ryan. I've been doing that with bards.
8 years now.
Sorry.
You've acted in 2, I think.
Yeah. I've been doing that. I am the culprit. Because I work on Sundays. That's why I run that store on Sundays. I'm going to run a Dunkin' Donuts.
I do
for a
everything,
minute.
Kenny.
I know.
We just talked about it. Take a day off. No, I'm kidding. I know you can't.
Eventually, it's got to happen. It's something that I wanted to do. I mean, it's going to be nerve-wracking as hell, but
It's
Yeah.
so fun. It's so fun.
yeah.
Battle of the Bards is what we're talking about for whoever can't tell on the camera. They're not on camera. We are. Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll keep talking, Rich.
Ryan, you can put yourself on camera if you want. There you go. Yeah,
The Bard himself.
the Bard himself. Yeah.
Hi, guys. I zoomed over to you when we were talking about bald heads. I forgot about camera.
It's all right. It's all right. I can take it. I had put a specific light on my head, so now I have extra baldness in this episode, I think.
I know you're talking about promoting too. I think that's just one more thing to touch on is like, if there is a show that a band is on, that band should promote that show.
Oh, absolutely. It's so tough sometimes to get like because a lot of that I think they think falls on the venues. Oh, well, it's at
And
this
the venue
venue.
also should promote that
Yes,
show.
the venue should absolutely promote
But-
it too. But yeah, like it has to be both.
Yeah.
And it can't be everybody pointing at everybody else going, well, you should have been the one sharing. Well, no,
Yeah.
you should have been the one doing it.
Right.
Like, no. You
It's a
all
group
have
effort.
to. Yeah. And there really is a power in actual physical flyers.
So
You
much.
know, get them made.
Yep.
Center City Print.
Save
Save 10% off
That's what
with
you got.
the code
That's what I
NEPA
did.
Scene.
Yep.
But like really, like go out there, hand out stickers, hand out flyers. Put them. Ask local businesses if you can put them up, things like that. Put them on the. I'm sure the city of Scranton will hate me for saying this, but go on all of the light poles and everything else, and yeah, exactly. Like make it known that this stuff is out there because that really does work. It really
Yeah.
does get people to, I've seen this everywhere, you
Yeah.
know, and even it just kind of sticks in their head, like I've always kind of believed in logos. I think logos are so important. I mean, I still have people to this day. I think it's funny when I get people who are like, who don't get the open mic name right. And at this point, like at first it kind of made me mad. I'm like, how much time and effort have I put into calling this the NEPA Scene Open Mic that people still don't call it that? But now I just find it comical because it's just like, I couldn't put any more logos
Right.
on anything. Like
no.
literally there's
TVs,
two
the banner,
bright screens
yeah.
on the V-Spot stage that have the logo on it with the website and a banner that has it on there, and that I bring to the Union Vapors one and put that up. Then on all of the live streams, you're going to see that logo up in the corner over there. That's why it's there, and I figure over and over and over, if I put that on enough things, then people will finally just put two and two together and be like, yeah, that's what it's called. But I even had somebody message me recently about wanting to be on this show, and they said that thing that you do where you talk to people on the couch there.
Oh boy.
Could I get on there? And immediately I was like, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm just gonna put you in the no column for right now. Anyway.
Yeah.
When you can tell me what the name of it is, and I don't know if it's big enough. Is this big enough? Is it glowy enough?
Yeah.
Have I put enough effort into that? It's 3D, by the way, guys. In person, it looks really, really cool. I don't know if it looks as good on camera, but like, how much more effort do I need to put in to let you know that is what it's called? You know, like, it's crazy. But yeah, so same with I think with with bands and stuff and getting it out there, you have to like constantly get your name out there, which requires like a logo and things like that. But yeah, like stickers, flyers, all that good stuff. It really does make a big difference. The you'd mentioned working at the Ritz, and you've also done some stuff with Mountain Productions, which is pretty cool. People I don't think even know Mountain Productions is a thing.
No.
Here locally.
Don't.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that's another really cool thing. There is a company based in Wilkes-Barre? Yeah. That produces concerts all over the country. I think they've done stuff outside of the country too.
They have.
But like building stages and putting all those things together. And they do obviously local productions too, like Rockin' the River and things like that. But like, a lot of big stuff too. So like, I'm sure that was kind of harrowing being able to do that because you did that out of the area, right?
I did.
You had to fly out for that and stuff.
I did. I had to fly down to Miami for 2 weeks. It was the first time I had been away from the area for that long.
Yeah.
Aside from when I moved.
Yeah.
But it's wild because they are a global outfitter for so many different production companies that purchase their equipment from Mountain. And it's just this little tucked away, like, steel yard in Wilkes-Barre that you're driving by. You would never have any clue.
Yeah, you
They're
would never
putting
out
stuff
there.
together for the Super Bowl. They did Prince's halftime show.
Wow.
They do the tree lighting at the White House. They do
Arguably the best halftime show, by the way.
I could not disagree.
Yeah.
I don't know all of them, but that was definitely one of the better ones. So like, this is, to me, to come from this area, to go from volunteering to doing like small festivals and all of that, it's insane to have an opportunity to work with a company like Mountain. And genuinely, it was a really eye-opening experience into how demanding the industry really is. Like, I thought local small productions were a lot. I couldn't have done anything to prepare for the days that I was on out there. And it taught me a lot about how to take care of myself and how to, not run myself into the ground, which I did. It took me weeks to recover from being out there. It did. It was not good. But it was totally worth it because this is what I believe in doing. So getting to go down there and, like I said, put a stage together for like Ludacris and Nelly and just artists that I grew up listening to is a bonkers experience. I was on stage during one of the show days, and this is the craziest part that I found out in staging. I'm used to working production, so on the show days, it is be on site, be ready to move something, touch something, run something, whatever you've got to do to make the show happen, you make the show happen. That's not how staging works. You stay there, out of the way, in case something happens, that the stage breaks or the weather gets bad or something stage related happens. How many times do you see people moving something on the stage during a concert? Not very often.
Yeah.
So literally it was like 3 days of just being on site and not having anything to do.
Yeah.
So that was the weirdest part, but in the not having anything to do, I was mingling with the stagehands who were doing the set changes, and all of the sudden the production manager guys me, she goes, "You have to move now." I'm like, "Sure, dude, no problem." Well, turns out Ludacris was 6 feet away, and I had no clue. That's why I had to move. So yeah, way different from production.
Yeah.
Staging is so incredibly demanding, and Mountain did an incredible job with having me on board because everybody that I worked with was very knowledgeable, very welcoming, very understanding, very accommodating. Like I said, have mental health stuff that I work with, and I go to therapy every week. So I switched to phone appointments that week, and they were like, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. If you got to take a long lunch or whatever for it, do it. And super accommodating to work for, which not used to that in production environments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a hell of an experience, and I was fortunate enough to be part of it because I went to their staging school in the fall. Every year it is in Wilkes-Barre, and they bring people in and have a week-long course that talks about what equipment they use and different OSHA standards, and they have a training class on how to put their materials together, and they actually take you out into the yard and show you everything, have you build it, and it's free. And anybody can put their name in to sign up to be selected. And that's how I got it. I just, it's not tricky to actually, get in on these things. So I would say anybody who wants to do this kind of stuff, see if you can sign up for it. I saw an ad on Instagram for it. I was like, this can't be real. Because a year prior, I had sent them a message like, how do I work for you guys? And of course, nobody got back to me. So yeah, local company that is doing big things and will teach people what to do. So that was really neat.
Yeah. So if that is something that interests you and you want to get into it, there's a great option for you right here in this area. So we'll jump into the comments, get some
Sure.
get some questions,
Curious to see
comments
who's in
going,
there.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it should be
All
fun.
kinds of
There's
bonkers nonsense people.
yeah. Oh, good. So we have this one guy. And it's gonna take me a minute to scroll, so I apologize if there's any dead air here. So there's one guy. He goes and I haven't just blocked him because it is kind of amusing. There's a guy on YouTube who's been tuning into live streams lately, and he will just say random things that have probably very little to do with what's actually happening. But then he'll just kind of start typing letters and then just enter
So
over and over and over again. Yeah, that's probably what you've solved.
Cat behavior.
You figured it out. Yes.
Yes.
There's just a cat walking across the keyboard, tuning into our YouTube channel.
I love that.
So
Thank
yeah.
you to the cat viewers
So
out
there's
there.
all these.
Chasing the birds.
Oh, your mom was watching, and so she knows.
Oh,
she knows
everything.
that you ruined
the
their
computer.
computer. Yeah, that's right.
3 of them, I bet.
Yep.
Sorry, Mom.
That's all your
I was a
fault.
good kid. I bought my music on iTunes.
I did, but then I found LimeWire.
Nancy says, "Hey, chick."
Hi, Nancy. I love you.
Machi says,
Ooh.
#, love Ravyn.
My girl. I love her so much. Shout out House of Mod.
Yeah. Billy Crazier
My
says,
son.
Mom, I love you.
I love you, son. My pride and joy. Check him out. The 25th, he's got a packed show.
Yeah. Ray Russian
Yep.
gives a heart there.
Homie.
Machi says that she can't wait to work with you on some music.
Blowing you up.
Why did you put that in the comments?
Busted.
You gotta wait till you. Never mind.
Yo, I guess we know what's next.
Ray's also like Teen
Like-
Titans, yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You can't leak. You can't leak yet.
Machi also says, I can relate. Learning new ways to write music on the fly can be daunting.
Yes.
And she had a question for you as well. She said, what has been your biggest challenge for creating your own band?
The band part.
The band part.
The band part. Getting
That
the
is-
band part. Literally, I'm my biggest challenge. I said it. I am difficult to work with because I am so specific in what I want, and I don't always say it nice.
It's not even about saying it nice, saying it where I can understand what you're talking about sometimes. It's really another for something.
Yeah.
It's like, I want you to do it like this, but it's you know, it's
But
just
it's
not
not
that. It's
that.
just you got to do it like this, though. You know.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
give me a song reference. Put a song on Spotify.
Right.
Let me listen to what you were talking about.
So that's what we've had to resort to is okay, well, I like the way the drums sound in this song. Can we do something like
like
that
fun
here?
fact. There's a song that we have on this EP that is all in minors. Every chord is a minor chord. That's it.
And he's telling me that this
And
is
I'm
like
mad
going to
about
be
it.
bonkers to make happen. And I'm like,
I was like,
maybe.
this is.
I don't
I was like,
think
that's
so.
not real. I was like,
And then I started trying to write to it. And
we're figuring it out.
We
We're
are.
figuring it out.
We are. It sounds like a bad trip. It does. It sounds like a bad trip. So that's probably what it's going to end up being about. Spoiler alert, the song's not finished yet. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge is me.
She also asked, how do you get into the vibe of songwriting?
Man,
All right, well, you're taking too long. So for me, I'll do it first. Powerpuff Girls, Professor X, The Cauldron. Okay, so this is why I have not been a great jammer. I can't really just like if you were to like put me in a room with like a group of musicians and we're just supposed to just play random stuff, I wouldn't do it. Like it has to be strategic. So this by default kind of works out with Robyn being so specific because I can't deal with random nature when it comes to writing music. I need a like purpose, a strategy, a direction, something to work with. So I get basically I ask people to give me like 3 or 4 of their favorite bands, song examples, and just give me stuff, references, and then I'll take those references and then I'll go back and I will, see how the chord structure works. I'll see what kind of cadences they use. I'll see, what type of style they use. And then we just mix it all, sugar, spice, everything nice. And then something pops up, something pops out. That's kind of how I've been personally writing music my whole life. That's why I've been like, when I was 14, I kind of just ripped bands off. I was just like, oh, I want to sound like this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you can't do this. You have to be original. So when I was 17, that's when I started my first local band one last time, and honestly one of the songs was the Taking Back Sunday influenced song. Like a lot of like the chord structures literally came from them, and then I added just some metalcore riffs and breakdowns and made it work. But that's like how I get into the vibe is I kind of just need a direction. I need to just be okay, what is the vibe? And then once I know what it is, then I'm like, okay, when me and Machi work together, I don't know why, leaking over here. I already kind of know the quote unquote vibe we're going to be into. I actually spoke to her about what, I kind of want to get her into the direction of doing. But again, I'm a very like, reference based type of writer. Like I like to just get, names, direction, and then I'll, formulate it.
I do none of that. I struggle and then something comes out. Like even when we sat down to write originally, I would just kind of like try and find something that I liked playing or liked hearing, and then he would kind of like build on top of it, and I'd be like, no. And then eventually he'd do something and I'd be like, yeah,
This whole
let's
band's
do
based on
that.
facial expressions. The whole EP was written on
It's
a
so
facial
true.
expression.
It's so true. And that's how you know like it's working, is like, oh, that's what I wanted to hear, but I could never figure out how to say it. So for me, it's literally just being able to be in a good enough headspace to get together with him. And even when I'm not, like I've showed up once and I sat on the couch and I'm like, I'm not doing anything today.
Yeah, we just talked for like 2 hours.
We talked for 2 hours and then
Wrote a whole
banged out
new
a song
song.
in a half an hour.
Yep.
So it's really for me all about the headspace and just being
Who you're
able
with.
to be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Definitely
If you're
makes a
around
huge
people who are open to what you're doing and involved in it and passionate and helpful and supportive, it's so much easier than sitting around with people going, oh, well, I don't like that. And we should be doing this. And this is stupid. Like, just forget that. That's not even worth
Yeah,
it.
I've definitely been frustrated in this whole process. But, I think what has
haven't.
been great is that, the frustration was never met with like any type of like quitting nature, any type of like argumentative stuff. It's just like, wait, let's just talk about what we're trying to do. And then we get to the bottom of it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I can figure this out. I know when we were first writing drums, that was it. I thought I finally met my maker. I was
This
like,
poor
okay,
man.
I cannot
I don't
please
like
this
the
person.
snare.
I'm done.
I don't like the snare, and he comes from snare
I mean,
as a culture.
the snare is the most important part. Of
So
the
we have
drum kit.
2 songs now that have no snare?
Almost, yeah, almost
Yeah.
no snare. But at first, I just was like, drums are the foundation of everything for me, like fundamentally as a musician. So when they were explaining their ideas of drums, I just already was like, no. And then I just basically was like, I'm not dealing with this. And then I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. And then I did.
And he did.
And then we
And
did.
it was bonkers. I loved it.
So this has been a genuine like music experience of like all of the emotions of either disappointment or highs, lows, mad, but now, some good stuff is coming out of it. I can't wait to record this. We need to find a studio.
I can't wait for people to hear the full band
Yeah, we need a
sound.
studio. Even when they hear us on May 2nd, it's still not going to be what it's going to be
No.
6 months down the line.
No.
Like, we need like 6 or 7 members to make it the
Yeah,
way it needs
auxiliary
to sound.
musicians. If you
Yeah.
play any strings, any
Electric,
wind
clarinet.
instruments.
Squidward.
Squidward. Okay.
Ryan J wants to know if he can be on the V Spot podcast. You could definitely be on the V Spot
V-Spot.
podcast for sure.
Only if you go to
this
the
is called,
V
right?
Spot open mic.
Yeah, no. We're gonna start one at the V Spot. Well, it's funny because even they don't get it right. The V Spot does these really very entertaining videos every week called
yeah.
Booze News.
Yeah.
And they will, for a minute or two, have different people who work at the V Spot plug what's going on and make a
just
bunch of
follow
really
this
crass jokes. So if
I
you're
did this
easily
the last
offended,
podcast.
it's not the show for
It's
you.
towards the end. I made sure to say that.
I think it's very funny that they went through many recordings of those and just called it every name but the NEPA Scene Open Mic.
I wonder if that's intentional, just like as a ha-ha funny.
No,
No, they probably still
no,
toned
it's
up to
not.
it.
Yeah, and I will bust their.
I've been
balls
meaning to
for
buy a
Shame.
shirt, by the way, Rich. I keep looking at your merch channel
Oh, thanks,
and
man.
reminding myself that you have
It's like,
merch.
yeah, I'm
I
gonna come
do.
next week.
I do have
Yeah,
merch.
I meant to
need
buy
some
something.
merch. Yeah, I need to buy some merch.
We should be getting some new shirts this year too. So,
Nice.
yeah. I like the ones that we have, but so you
Yeah.
should buy those. But yeah, we'll be getting different ones later this year. And Bobby Keller says, "Wait, isn't called Taxi Cab Confessions?" I wish it was. So that's a completely off topic, by the way. Why hasn't stuff like that been brought back with all the streaming service garbage that's
I'm gonna
out there?
pretend I don't know what that is because my mom is watching.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I was way too young to
Eight.
watch it too, because
I was also
my
way
parents had
younger than
HBO, so I'd stay up at night and be like, "Oh, what's this?" Like that sort of thing. So they would have stuff like this, or Real Sex was a great show, and teaches you a lot when you're that young. But it's more of it was this like documentary style type of thing where not Taxi Cab Confessions.
I thought I was cool staying up for Adult Swim, so.
Yeah, no, this is actual Adult Swim.
sheesh.
Real Sex was hilarious because it was just like, hey, guy with weird fetish, tell us about that for 10 minutes. And it was just a segment on some
Wow.
guy's weird fucking fetish or like, stuff like that. So
I don't.
I am
actually
just shocked in the day and
Girls Gone
age
Wild
of
is
streaming
what I
services
It's not the same.
that you're producing all these shows, bringing back shows that are long dead and stuff like that,
Girls Gone
banking
Wild,
on the
you
name.
said.
HBO made its name through that stuff.
That's what I remember.
And they've completely forgotten all that. They don't make it anymore.
Which is
They
a
don't make
shame.
any stuff like that. Yeah,
I don't know
it's-
anything about that one either.
You would think, like in this day and age,
Nope, not me.
like people are more open, they're more interested in that kind of. They can be more public about that kind of stuff.
Everyone should have been watching C Lab 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That's what you stay up late at night and pass your parents' bedtime.
and
behind your
Space
parents.
Ghost.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved all that early stuff. They don't make them like that.
No, definitely. There'll never be a show like that again.
Nope.
It's classic.
Bobby said, when is Ludacris going to be on the NEPA Scene podcast?
Oh wow.
I'll call him.
I mean, if he's doing State Farm commercials at this point,
That's true.
he might,
Maybe
like,
State Farm will sponsor you.
do I have to just say, like, State Farm is there, and
Like a
then he
good
just appears on the
neighbor,
couch,
Ludacris
Oh,
is there.
and then he'll appear on the couch.
Didn't work.
Not this time. Maybe in the
Not
future.
this time.
Yeah.
He's not as tall as I thought he would be. That's all I can say on that one, Chris.
You know, I don't know why I'm thinking about this on, camera, but I might have to blow up your spot for a second about what I want you to do.
Okay.
Would you ever be interested in doing like a what is it called? Loud tree or some type of like live performance? Like, you ever seen those?
Oh, like Tiny Desks.
Yeah, but it's like full band performances and stuff like that, like releasing like live performances.
I have done a few.
Like that.
I've done a few
Okay.
in the studio.
Okay. Sick.
So we a couple of years ago we did a couple episodes of NEPA Scene Sessions was what we called it,
Yeah.
and it was like stripped down acoustic sessions with a couple of singer songwriters. We did do a full band. We did So Much Hope Buried. Was on, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. And so, confession to make, we do have 2 other episodes that were never released, and it's not because they weren't good. It's just because I kind of ran out of a lot of time, and then it just became a thing that just kind of a dark cloud that hung over my head of like, I really want to get to that, but I got to do this first, and then I'll get back to doing that, but then I got to do this, and so on and so forth, and it just kind of got pushed back further and further, and I kind of lost the time. So I apologize to the artists because I don't want to say who they are yet because we will put them out. That they've had to wait so long for their episodes to come out. But what I would like to do is put those out and then jump into the next one and keep going. And
That'd be a
and
cool
do it
thing
more.
to do when we get the full,
100%. Killer Bunz
episode.
has been meaning to talk to you about that too, but there's no time for everything.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, you just literally run out of time, and then you run out of like the steam. Like
There's
you
only
can
so much
only do
battery
so
power.
much.
I've
Yeah.
fallen
Yeah.
asleep a lot on my couch recently.
You have to kind of take a step
I
back
fell asleep
sometimes.
at 9 o'clock last night in my bed, and I woke up at 1 o'clock and started recording Ravyn stuff, and then went back to bed until it was time to podcast. But that's it. I'm up all night working in Reaper and trying to get files to render, and oh, what a nightmare. Not an audio engineer. So yeah.
By the way, Squid says, "God bless your soul, Kenny."
If anybody knows, it's
Shout
that
out to
man.
Squid.
Squidward.
So speaking of which, we should plug this show before we wrap up.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the Killer Bunz birthday banger.
Yes.
You've got Ravyn, of course, Squid Sterling, Free Fall, acoustic, Byrdie, and DJs CIMA, was it?
Simma. Like
CIMA.
Simma down.
CIMA down. And DrumBum.
Yes.
That's an easy one to remember.
That is. That's that I'm excited about. If anybody knows the Tribe, their drummer Chris Langan, he has decided to start playing with DJ stuff, and he's going to be making his debut that night. So
No, it's super
very
fun.
excited for that.
Yeah. So, what if people are on the fence or they have never heard you guys before? What would you say to them to make them want to come out to this show? What do you guys have planned?
I mean, there's fresh, new, original music. It's going to be all original music that night. I don't think any of us are doing any cover songs.
Cool.
So if you're looking for something new, that's going to be a great opportunity to find it. We have DJs coming in, and it's not going to be the standard rave environment that people might be used to. So if anybody's trying to get into checking out local DJs, this is going to be a good time to do that. We're going to be showing off everything we've been writing, and I mean, I would hope that, that you guys would want to come see it. The other thing too, it's not a bar. It's going to be at Union Vapors, 570 in Dickson City. So while it is BYOB, I'm not a drinker, so I'm really not promoting that, and would love to have just kind of a fun environment without a whole lot of extracurriculars, we'll call it, that night.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to something to do where you don't have to be around the bar scene and fighting a bar crowd and whatever, and you can just kind of bring a drink or two for yourself, or you want to just hang out with a low-key vibe that's going to be a lot of fun, that'd be the place.
100%. Be there.
Yeah. Be there. You're going to wish you were if you're not, because,
Yeah.
And,
FOMO.
yeah, and if
FOMO is real.
Yeah.
if you're one of those people that just don't get invited to enough parties, you are now invited.
You are invited. This is my birthday. My birthday is on Monday the 27th, so guess what? I'm gonna crash another open mic with shenanigans. Please do not bring cake. Do not bring food. I have severe allergies to everything under the sun. Do not bring cake. Don't bring cake. Please don't bring cake. Or pizza. Don't bring pizza. I'll literally
That's
have
crazy.
to choke and leave. I really
Right?
want to stay there
crazy.
Yeah.
for the event. And also don't get trashed. I don't want that either. I'm going to be a butthole about that. But anyway, come have fun because it's going to be fun. Yeah, don't bring cake though.
Well, you have an interesting reason for that, unfortunately.
Yes.
That you deal with. Not to bring down the mood or
No,
anything
it's-
like that, but
it's funny to me.
yeah. Well, I think it's important to talk about how people who have chronic illness still have to. You still got to go to work. You still got to go do things, and especially in this case, like you got to get up in front of people. Which adds like a nervousness to that whole thing, which can throw off your body and things like that. So, can you talk a little bit about dealing with celiac disease?
Yeah, so celiac has been a big part of my life, and there's also other autoimmune issues that I've been facing that are getting diagnosed. One of the suspects is mast cell activation syndrome. And basically what that is you can go through whatever allergy tests and whatever, everything came back negative for me. But my body still acts as though I'm having allergic reactions to certain environmental irritants, to certain foods. If I walk into a pizza place, my throat closes up. I can't breathe. I get a migraine. My eyes are swelling shut. It's itchy city all over the place. Not a good time. When I was in Florida, I had a super sweaty week because it's Florida and I'm working outside. And between the sunblock and the natural salt on my skin, I was covered in a rash and it was horrible. I can't eat at catering. I have to bring all my food everywhere. I don't eat out at restaurants. And so it's definitely a challenge to be in any sort of environment that is not, going to be able to really do anything for you in that case.
Right.
And that's production. That's live music, unfortunately. So for me, I haven't had a traditional job in years. It's just kind of gig work and doing what I can in production to stay afloat. And then hoping that I've made ends meet so that I can recover from doing those jobs.
Right.
Let alone needing access to a bathroom regularly or needing access to food regularly for blood sugar issues that I have. Chronic illness is no joke for anybody who has to go through any of it. And between the brain fog and the fatigue and everything that comes from it too, I get up on stage and pray I remember the lyrics. So if you see me with lyrics on the ground, no, you don't. Okay? I'm doing my best. So yeah, it's definitely given me a lot of shakes to my confidence when it comes to playing my own music, because I do struggle a lot sometimes with my memory, and believe it or not, celiac flares can absolutely affect that, where it'll be just like a lack of concentration and nothing comes up when it's supposed to. It's like total airhead mode. Makes it hard to communicate with people and stay in touch with people, and a lot of the energy I wish I could be spending on being productive goes to just taking care of myself. And quite frankly, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. But I hope that if anybody is still trying to do something like this and struggles with chronic illness, that let it be known that it's totally possible. There might be accommodations that have to be made sometimes. Like I worked a festival once and had to work with their ADA team so that I could bring my own food into the venue, which people aren't allowed to do on a regular basis at this festival. So it wasn't something I really even thought of until I was faced with it in that moment that, hey, ADA does not just mean that there is a space for somebody who needs mobility aid.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Right.
It could absolutely be, if you've got low blood sugar, that you can work with an ADA team at a show or whatever to have additional food with you when you might not be able to, or a juice box or something. So I I hope that if people see me out here doing this, especially women, especially young people who aren't sure what to do or if it's going to be too much, it's going to be a lot. But if you're willing to try and willing to maybe make some mistakes and know you can still take care of yourself through it, I would absolutely push somebody to push themselves for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely relate to that. I have irritable bowel disease, so I have all kinds of issues with that. And
The
that can be
prettiest
tough
girls
with,
have
like,
tummy
getting
issues, Rich, so join the club.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like having to know that there's always a bathroom nearby and like being consistently late for everything. So like it's the only thing that's worked out is like not always having a traditional job. Like obviously you got to take side gigs and things like that to make ends meet. It's just like that's where everybody is.
Impossible with this kind of
But
thing.
yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, like I would get so much shit from certain bosses who didn't really understand that like especially mornings are real bad for me.
Same for me.
So like getting up in the morning and being able to just function enough to, get through that morning shift and stuff is just like it's nearly impossible. So like being able to do what I do, I'm very, it's great, but it's also like it adds the other challenge of like actually making the ends meet and getting paid for everything
The
and
stress
stuff
of
like that.
surviving, basically, when it could be, maybe easier in other ways to be doing a 9 to 5, but it doesn't matter if it's easier there because it's not as easy someplace else, and it doesn't work.
Well, and it's like especially in the creative medium, it's like you put so much time and effort into making these things happen, knowing full well I will probably break even or lose money on this every single time that I do it. Like that drives me insane to think that that's the case for your average musician. I mean, it is for touring musicians, like big time musicians are having those struggles. So on a local level, it's like, forget it. Like you God forbid you try to charge more than $5 at a door. Like people freak out about it, like as if like it was $5 decades ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and $10 is the new, like that's too little, really, when you think about it.
If you try and get somebody to pay $20 for a ticket, I don't even, it's tough to even consider who could be on that lineup.
Right.
To make it make sense.
Yeah, to make it make sense for anybody. Like,
which is a shame,
time when you put...
I get it. Because I'm sitting here saying, well, I hope I can make ends meet. How am I going to spend $20 3 nights a week to go out and see music?
Right. But it's like, but how else do you expect the musicians that you love, that you say you care so much about, that like the music means something to you, gets you through your day or whatever, but you're streaming it, so you're not paying for it, because they're really seeing next to nothing or nothing off of streaming. You're not buying the album anymore, because you're listening to it on that or whatever. And if you don't show up, you're probably not buying the T-shirt or whatever else and that sort of thing.
Which is
so it's
also
like,
relatively expensive now, given the pricing for everything that these companies have to do to produce it.
Right.
So.
And then you're arguing about the cover charge. Well, okay, where else are they going to make money? Like, how else are you going to do it?
Right.
I mean, I'm in the same position where it's like I don't make money on writing articles. I don't make money on anything that I produce content-wise. Can't make money on most of the live streams, the open mic streams and stuff like that, because if people do covers and things like that, that immediately you're demonetized. So like that you can't do that. And then the stuff that you can make out of it's maybe it's pennies. That works out to like, okay, maybe at the end of the year I've saved up enough of those pennies that I can renew the domain name, or I can pay for some hosting, part of the hosting for the whole year. Yeah, exactly. It goes right back into the production costs and all that kind of stuff.
That's a huge part of why I haven't done more with Killer Bunz. Not just the energy and having to do something with it, but like until Union Vapors came along, I was going to have to be looking at paying out of pocket for a show because you never know what could happen, who will show up at a show, and you think you could do everything right, and people just still don't show up. It happens. And so to me, being a promoter, it's like that is a huge gamble, and it's why I haven't done much to begin with. And so shout out to Union Vapors. They don't charge promoters.
Yeah.
They give all of the door money directly to the bands that play. It's kind of non-negotiable. So kudos to them for taking the brunt of the expense of doing those shows and wanting to do it for the community, because they really do a phenomenal job.
Shout out to Ken Unstuck.
Yeah,
Real good
Ken's
homie.
doing amazing stuff there, and their sound team is awesome. Todd and Summer, they do awesome work at
Yep.
every show that I've seen them do, and yeah, it's expensive to put shows together. You say, like, who knows what goes into it until you work it, but like beyond the production side of it, even the promoters could be on the hook for thousands of dollars for
Yes.
like a show at a big venue. Even a small one could be significant, because if you're going to promote it, you're probably going to want flyers, you're probably going to have to design something, so you're either going to have to do it or pay someone to do it, and it really all adds up. And then you still have to make sure the bands that are playing are compensated fairly.
Right.
And again, if we're not doing that, how are these bands going to keep playing to begin with, like you said?
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah. That's crazy.
here
Yeah.
we are.
I know, right?
Starving artists to the beginning.
Yeah, starving artist. I always said, I got this tattoo when I was a teenager. It says B, and it was just kind of my reminder that if I'm going to be an artist, if I'm going to do music, I got to do it my way, and it's going to be hard. But if I don't, I'm going to die regretting getting this tattoo because dang, did I let myself down. So like, starving artist is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Feed me, Seymour.
considering the alternative.
Yeah,
There's-
dude, I'm good on a 9 to 5. I worked
Yeah.
for Social Security for 4 years. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody realizes that. I quit. I hated it.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing this. So I don't know.
Yeah.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
When I got laid off from my newspaper job, that was like a big turning point for me, because it was like I knew when I sat in that dickhead's office and he's handing me the pink slip, because I know what he's doing, and it is I'm not getting canned because of anything I did. I'm getting canned because of a corporate takeover and this guy wanting to put his friends into positions that they are unqualified for instead of the job. So I'm losing the job that I worked really, really hard for. And as I'm taking that paper and I'm signing it, I'm like, I thought to myself, this is the last time that I am ever going to get a regular paycheck ever again, unless I just give all of it up, like everything that I worked for the last how many years. If I just give it all up, get the 9 to 5, and just be done with it, and this is the last time that I'm ever going to make. And it was, and that was over a decade ago. That was
Kudos
almost
to
12
you.
years ago.
Good shit.
So I mean, the fact that we're still here
Proud of
is great. You know,
Yeah.
like it's
Awesome.
it's a lot, but you know.
This one over here does both.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna say anything because you guys were making me
He's
feel
a
like
machine.
No,
inhuman.
it's not.
No,
You
I
are
honestly
inhuman.
It's
think
not.
I'm
You
inhuman. I
are.
put in a minimum 50 hours a week at my job, and I
And
run
the
a
minimum of
Dunkin'
50
then you
hours a
go
week
out.
with Raven. There's not even 10 days
I
in a week.
literally
for
run
it.
a Dunkin' Donuts, but I will be honest. I have a very supernatural situation. I came into my job 15 years ago. I work for a privately owned Dunkin' by a company, May Brands. Eric and Heather May run it, and I openly, like from the gate, said I'm a touring musician. I need to get off when I need to, and they let me do it for the entire time I worked there. So I've actually toured the whole East Coast of the country and came back and just went right back to work like nothing even happened.
awesome.
So they've been very supportive of me, and it's again unheard of for a working company to like be like that. But my caveat for them is I just don't call off. I do everything they need me to do. Bring the results they need. So I was fortunate enough to get a relationship with people who ran a business because I'm like a part of their culture and like leadership team and stuff like that. Fun fact too, there was a Christmas song competition that we had, and we were one of the 6 Dunkins in the country to win because I wrote a Christmas song.
Christmas
Hell
banging.
yeah.
So again, even to there, my HR department has my bands written on their pamphlets. Like the whole company knows I do music, and that's like my thing. So again, I have a very unheard of situation with corporate America because again, privately owned business, I kind of was able to slip through the cracks in that situation because they run everything. You know, I doubt if it was like, you know, corporately owned, would I be able to get away with doing what I've done? You know what I mean? So definitely, you know, I found a loophole a little bit, but you know, I definitely one day, and I've told my, you know, bosses and all them openly, I'm like, the day that music ever presents a, you know, opportunity for me to go do that full time, you can kiss me goodbye for sure. They know that that's the goal. So, you know, that's kind of my own walk, but yeah, I definitely am a little inhuman to be able to do everything.
Not even just did he go to work today and then come here to do the podcast. I convinced him we're gonna finish writing some stuff tonight, so we can take tomorrow and literally just relax.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to work, but I'm gonna relax for the both of us.
Well, I will let you guys go then, so that you can do that.
Yeah, you relax too, Rich.
And I wanted to mention, Ray had one more comment. He said, I saw some of my favorite bands growing up for $20 back in the day, and I totally get the difference in times. I'm all about spending $20 to see a friend or someone local to play. I agree. Yeah, exactly.
Bold move, dude.
Yep, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Wish more people would think that way.
Hopefully they will.
Yeah. I mean, we could change minds one bit at a time. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get out of here? I will
just thankful
read off
to
all the details.
Be alive and be able to still play music and have good friends and, you know, be on the platform. It's really, you know, awesome to still be doing this. I've been doing this for, like I said, 16 years. So it's been a really crazy journey and ride, but I'm glad I'm still on it. I'm glad I'm still able to be a part of situations like these.
I think we're all glad you're still on it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Makes life worth living doing, you know, stuff like this and presenting art and being able to, you know, promote it, talk about it, help out other people. Yeah, it's awesome. Really good.
Yeah. Definitely grateful for you and the chance to do it too. This band is what I've spent my whole life wanting to do. And so it's crazy to just feel like it's all becoming real and having a platform to talk about it on with people that I care about in the same room. Like, it's so cool to just, feels like hanging out. So thank you again for everything you're doing. It's super appreciated.
Oh, appreciate you guys. Thanks for choosing the NEPA Scene Podcast. For those who don't know. I'll read off everything here, so you guys who maybe are just tuning in will have the details. The Killer Bunz birthday banger with Ravyn, Squid Sterling, Freefall, Byrdie, and DJ CIMA and DrumBum will be held at Union Vapors 570 in Dickson City on Saturday, May 2nd at 9 p.m. Doors at 8. Admission is $10 at the door. Also want to plug that Freefall will perform with Permanence, Pucker Up, and Catchin' Yetis at Union Vapors 570 in Dickson City on Friday, May 22nd at 9 p.m. Same thing, doors at 8, and admission is $10 at the door. And buy some merch, too. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you to Ryan J, by the way, for hanging out in the back here and switching the cameras, listening to the audio, make sure everything's coming through okay. We appreciate that because I can only do so many things on this before I run out of steam. So thanks again. And thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously, if you made it this far, you enjoyed it. So like, comment, share, do all the good algorithm things to get that out to more and more people because we will never pay you, Meta. We will never, ever pay you, no matter how many ads you hit me over the head with. We will never, ever pay big corporations. That is not what the little money that we make is not going towards that, is going to support local artists. So if you want to see this kind of stuff continue, you want to reach more and more people, spread the good word, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Stop posting negative shit on Facebook. It doesn't do any good. Just post some positive stuff for once. So thanks again, and we will see you next Wednesday for another NEPA Scene Podcast. Have a good night, everybody.